Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our daily get-together here on Facebook Live every single day at 10:30 in the morning, where we look at headlines, stories, comments, thoughts, suggestions, ideas, complaints, news, all kinds of things that relate to our lives here as Puerto Vallarta English-speaking locals. It is always a pleasure to get together with you every single morning. It is always a pleasure to see so many people, so many friends that join us every single morning, and so many friends that join us very, very frequently. Always great to see you all. And it's also always wonderful to see where you guys are joining us from. Lorraine is in Switzerland. This is wonderful. We have people nearby. John is here in Puerto Vallarta. Betsy is in Colonia Emiliano Zapata. Mi hermana, my beloved sister, is in Mexico City. Hermanita, mwah, to my sister. And Colorado Springs is in the house. I mean, it's really wonderful to see how we can be spread apart from each other, and yet we can come together for 30 or 40 minutes every day just to connect with one another and to connect with the destination. But that doesn't mean that we all know each other. If you are new and you're just discovering Coffee and Headlines, you are more than welcome to join us. This is a community for English-speaking locals. But if you're not an English-speaking local and you find information here that is useful, inspiring, or otherwise entertaining, you are more than welcome to join us. And if you want to let us know that you're new, simply write the word new in your comments so that we can give you a proper welcome. Also, if you have specific questions or comments that you would like us to address during the show or shortly thereafter, please add the letter Q to the beginning of your comment. Great to see you all. Today we have all kinds of news. We have good news. We have sad news. We have funny news. So we have a little bit of everything. We are, believe it or not, 6 months into the... Oh, let me acknowledge this because Logan, my friend Logan, and I are going upriver. We're going to the Kuala River today to make another money contribution to the community, to the horse feeding cooperative project that my friend Logan is running. As if you don't know about this, I'll leave you the link on the show notes. There is a wonderful community municipality, actually. No, is it a municipality? I get these mixed up. El Jorullo is a community that is, oh, now I remember. El Jorullo is still part of Puerto Vallarta, and they are right up Rio Cuale, and there's a great community of people that make a living giving horse riding tours, and things have been a little rough for them during this pandemic. So my friend Logan has been raising money to feed the horses, and I have helped him with publicity and whatnot. So we go to the river once a month and sometimes twice a month to deliver a little bit of mula so that the horses can eat and so that their owners can continue to make a living. So this is going to happen later on today. I'm really excited about this. Paul is here from Boston. Paul, I'm looking forward to meeting you tomorrow. Let's set up a specific time. And Nancy, you had your going away get together that I missed. I don't know where you are now, but wherever you are, I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. And I hope you're missing Puerto Vallarta. And last but not least, I hope you will come back soon. Let's see. Maryland's in the house. Um, it's all wonderful. Eric is here. Eric, I don't know if you guys have left or not, but I know that you were going to leave Puerto Vallarta this week, I believe. If you have left, please know that you and Tommy will remain in our hearts because it's been wonderful to know you through coffee and headlines and to hang out. And I hope you'll be able to come back soon. Um, Kimberly is newish. Well, I'm gladish. Just kidding. Kimberly is newish. It's great to see you, Kimberly. It's great to see so many people that find something useful and inspiring here. As I was telling you, now we're going to start diving into our news. It's been 6 months since the first COVID case was detected in Mexico. We're going to see where the numbers are at, and we're going to see how the pandemic is behaving as of late. We are going to follow up on the cow that was found on the river on the Kuala River, and she didn't have a happy ending, unfortunately. We're going to learn more about all this battle against junk food in Mexico and how that's shaping up. And we're going to have a love letter from my dear, dear friends at Grupo de Teatro Dionisio, a Spanish language theater company here in town that is celebrating an important anniversary. And Liz is chiming in on something that we're going to talk about, of course, the fact that Babel Bar is closing. We're going to look at a little bit of the legacy and the big, big shoes that that this closing leaves behind, particularly for local musicians. And last and certainly not least, yesterday, Lady Tres Pesos was busted. Well, Lady Tres Pesos has been identified and she has been canned from her job. And here is Juan Pablo Hernandez, one of the members of Grupo de Teatro Dionisio. Juan Pablo, qué gusto verte. Again, even if you don't speak Spanish, I'm going to tell you today so much about this incredibly important local community theater group here in Puerto Vallarta and how even if you don't understand their plays, you must know what they're up to. So we have a show full of all kinds of good vibes and great stuff. So we might as well get started. And let me press the button. Bam! Again, as I was mentioning earlier, yesterday marked the 6-month anniversary since the first case of COVID was detected here in Mexico. According to this news item from Informador, there are over 585,000 Mexicans with COVID-19, with over 63,000 deaths. This is absolutely devastating, and of course we are dealing with the pandemic as much as every other country is dealing. We are aware of the fact that different countries have made different decisions. Sometimes we felt in control of the knowledge. Sometimes we felt as though our leaders are not making the right decisions. We felt under the temptation to compare our methodology with that in other countries, and this has brought up all kinds of friendly and unfriendly debates among us and among our friends. But the bottom line is, for the most part, most regions in the world would agree on the basic things that we can be doing to take care of ourselves and our loved ones. And we've repeated those things constantly here on the show. And we're going to continue to do so. Again, we don't look at the big numbers very frequently here. We look at numbers on Mondays, but we try to remind ourselves and everyone to remember our personal responsibility to ourselves and to our loved ones, and we know what we need to do. The good news about this, we've been reporting how the pandemic curve is flattening in Mexico and how the number of cases or the behavior of the pandemic is starting to decrease. We find that whereas a couple of weeks ago there was only one state in Mexico that had been able to move from red light to yellow light, there are now 10 states in Mexico that are now on on red light state. But let's start with the grim news. Right now, according to the federal stoplight, the state of Colima is the only state remaining in the country that is in high risk at the present time. That must not feel so very good for our neighbor state, but this is the way it is according to the information that we get from the federal government. States with high risk continue to include the state of Jalisco, although we are in the orange, not in the red. And this is important to know. And look now at all the states in Mexico that have been able to go to the moderate risk phase. It is an increasing number of states, so we hope that this trend continues to be the one that indicates that more and more we're going to be able to reactivate our economic recovery. Of course, the fact that Jalisco is on the orange phase means that the national press has indicated what we are supposed to do or what we are able and not able to do. And I'm going to leave this link here, although I am not going to go through these allowed or unallowed activities, only because we know that the state of Jalisco dances by its own tune. So I don't want us to get confused. According to this, the federal guidelines, for example, the state of Jalisco should be able to have a certain number of people in hotels, but that number is different from the number that our governor has indicated. Again, the fact that we continue to be on a decreasing trend will hopefully mean that tomorrow our governor, in his weekly address, will give us some sort of good news in terms of openings and the number of people you can have at restaurants or bars or hotels and so forth and so on. Of course, now that the tropical storm Hernán has left, there are 5 municipalities in the state of Jalisco that are affected. And of course, all the repair work is going to begin or has begun. We're talking about the following municipalities: Villa Purificación, Casimiro Castillo, Tomatlán, La Huerta, Cihuatlán, and Cabo Corrientes. Cabo Corrientes is just south of Puerto Vallarta, and the rest of the municipalities are south of the city as well. There is a series of very sad photographs from all over the state on the damages that this tropical storm left behind, and it is just sad to see that this has happened. We pray for the well-being of all the affected families, and we hope that they're able to reestablish their way of life as soon as possible. Along those lines, yesterday we reported that a cow had been spotted trying to fight against the currents of the Quale River, and the cow was assumed to have been able to escape the current of the river. Unfortunately, the cow was found floating, drowned, or rather the cow drowned and floated to a beach in front of Los Tules here in Puerto Vallarta. This is sad. Somehow I feel strongly for the well-being of people, but somehow I also feel strongly for animals, and it is very, very sad when we see that animals are affected by these kinds of things. We often don't think so much about the well-being of our animals. So this is sad, sad news. This bit of news made me smirk or laugh a little bit. In the town of Santiago Ixcuintla, citizens stopped the access to a CocaCola delivery truck. And you might think that this has to do with the junk food wars that are increasing in Mexico and that have been passed on several states. But in fact, this has to do with the fact that here's a little bit of political history. Listen to me. Political history. In the state of Nayarit, the governor's name is Antonio Echevarria, which is the same name as his father, Antonio Echevarria. Antonio Echevarria father was governor of Nayarit prior to his son becoming the governor of Nayarit, and he is the current governor of Nayarit. And it turns out that Antonio Echevarria father has huge stakes in private businesses, which include CocaCola. Given the fact that the state has pretty much indicated, well, you cannot be opening your stores at a certain time, um, and you cannot be selling certain kinds of products and so forth and so on. Well, the people of the state, and of course, they were both born in Santiago Ixcuintla, this particular town that I'm referring to. So the citizens of the town pretty much gave the government the finger saying, well, you're not letting us open our stores. We're not letting you sell your products. This, of course, because the governor's father has big stakes on the Coca-Cola company. There's a comment here that says, Logan Tovar comments that Los Echeverria are very corrupt. I don't know all the details about this family, but things happen for a reason. Of course, we know that what the citizens are doing is probably not even legal, but it is interesting to see how the populations of our cities and towns are not necessarily letting bad things happen or unfair things happen. Speaking of the whole junk food crusade, it seems that Hugo Lopez Gatell, our health czar, has found his calling, and he is going to start working with state governments to allow for this anti-junk food law to be passed in all the states in the country. We've talked about this briefly in the past couple of days, to the effect that in some states you can no longer sell junk food and sodas to children because of the high problems of diabetes and obesity that we have in the country. So it seems to be that this is going to be one of the things that Hugo Lopez Gatell is going to continue to dedicate his time towards. Good for him. Good for him. I also wanted to let you know about the International Book Fair that happens every year in Guadalajara City during the month of November. The International Book Fair in Guadalajara is one of the most important cultural events in the city, and it is the largest book fair in all of Latin America. And it happens in our own Guadalajara, just 5 hours away from here. And it's a wonderful event. It always features guest countries, and it features not only books and books and books and more books, but all kinds of conferences, workshops, an ability to get close to book publishers, performances of all kinds, and so forth and so on. Needless to say, this event, like many large-scale events in our circles, is still undecided as to whether they're going to be able to have it. And what this news item tells us is that it will be at the end of the month, at the end of September, that the director of the event, the president of the event, Raul Padilla Lopez, will make a decision as to whether we will have a book fair in Guadalajara or not. Of course, going to Guadalajara during the book fair is always a great opportunity to not only enjoy all the books, but also enjoy all these other parallel cultural events that take place. Let me take a pause before we dive into the leisurely news, and I want to be making sure that I'm looking at your comments and making sure that we are answering questions. I see some comments about the passing of Chadwick Boseman, the 43-year-old actor who worked in the Black Panther. This is very sad. Whenever we find out that somebody passes at a young age, it's really devastating. How can they state that Nayarit is on the orange but is still high risk? Sharon, I have no idea. I really don't know. That's what the numbers say. That's what the charts say. And I wish I could give you a more satisfying answer, but I can't. I am so glad, Michael, that you started watching Taco Chronicles last night. Everyone or anyone that is in Mexico and enjoys Mexican food should watch this series from Netflix. And it's a love letter to tacos and the vast variety of tacos that you can enjoy in Mexico. This is really a beautiful production. And let's see. Badim bam bim bam boom bam bam. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Mandy McPherson says, "Good morning from Canada. It's great to see you, Mandy. How are your plans going? Please let us know. We always want to hear what you're up to." And now that I'm caught up with your comments, let us switch over to the weather and a couple of really interesting tidbits that I have saved for you. Well, it's 27 degrees Celsius, feels like 30 Fahrenheit. It is 81 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Humidity is at 81%. We see a 7% chance of rain for today. And looking at the forecast tells us that it's going to continue to rain until morning, starting again tonight during the evening. Tomorrow, Sunday, it's going to be rain and humid throughout the day. What a perfect combination for a Sunday fun day here at Coffee and Headlines. And we already started preparing some nuggets for tomorrow. It's going to be quite funny, or at least I hope it's going to be funny. Monday, we're going to continue to have some rain and humidity throughout the day with variable winds. So that's what's going on weather-wise. Fortunately, we don't have any tropical storms to talk about, at least not for the next few days. And this is, of course, comforting. Question from Ray Cannon. If you are driving in your own car with my spouse, are we both required to wear masks? Oy vey. Well, I'm not sure, Ray. I don't wear my masks, my mask in a car. If I am going in somebody else's car, which is what I've been doing a lot of, if I get on the car, I ask politely, can I remove this? When I am going on a cab, I'm always wearing my mask. We've driven past federal police and we haven't been stopped. And then for a few weeks ago, I heard that some people were being stopped because they were not wearing their face mask. There is no specific guideline that I've seen published. But just to be on the safe side, what I would suggest you do is you keep it nearby. And if you see policemen in your vicinity, just put it up to be on the safe side. And I hope that is helpful to you. Moving on with our headlines, as it was mentioned earlier in the broadcast, and I found out about this just a little while ago. Babel Bar has published an item on their Facebook wall saying that they are definitely closing. It's been a tough decision, but necessary for our family in the current times. As you know, or maybe you don't know, Babel Bar has been this wonderful restaurant on the Isla Rio Cuale, but more than that, it has been this wonderful place where many local musicians were able to perform and make some money. And because Babel Bar was open during the daytime, being in the island, it was probably not the safest place to be open at night just because the lighting is not very good. It has been a wonderful place to enjoy live music during the afternoons. However, Arancha Asensio and her family have decided they're not going to operate the restaurant anymore. We don't know what they're going to be up to. We also don't know what's going to happen with that particular location, whether it will be reopened as a restaurant under a different administration or what. But it is definitely a major loss as far as having venues available in town where many of the local bands were able to perform on a regular basis and make some money for themselves. We hope that we wish Arancha and her family the best of luck with whatever enterprises they choose to embark on. And we hope that the gap that they leave behind will be filled by a similar type of operation. Netflix. Okay, this is the science fiction part of the show. Netflix is launching another space drama in a couple of days. This will be Away, which is a series featuring Hilary Swank, and it will be premiered on September 4th. There's a nice review of this on CNET in case you are intrigued by it. I'm going to leave you with a link along with all the other links that we usually feature. And now I want to jump into this bit of news, and I want to really dive into this. This is about Grupo de Teatro Dionisio, a local theater company here in Puerto Vallarta, a Spanish language theater company. They are celebrating their 8th anniversary through a Facebook Live performance tonight that will feature theater, cabaret, music, gifts, anecdotes, games, wigs, makeup, songs, and all kinds of fun. Now, you're going to probably ask me, why am I talking about something in Spanish that you will not be able to understand? And the answer is quite simple, because it is important. Grupo de Teatro Dionisio, and I am talking about dear friends of mine, so this is a shameless plug. Grupo de Teatro Dionisio launched 8 years ago with a very basic premise. We are, well, not we, but they are hardworking, full-time working professionals that share a passion for theater. And what that means is that they have a day job and they make time to make theater. They started with some very specific guidelines, a mission to contribute to the activity, the theatrical activity in Puerto Vallarta, to increase awareness of theater in Puerto Vallarta, by offering and producing projects that were well researched, well rehearsed, and well produced. How do they work? Very simple. There is a core group of founding members, and they all take turns directing plays. So it is an equal opportunity operation for everyone. While one person is directing, the others are acting, and some people are working backstage. And so it is a learning opportunity for all. As part of their financial strategy, they've always budgeted to make sure that they have enough funding to be able to schedule workshops and increase their training. As a company, they have participated in state competitions and regional competitions where they have garnered in very important prizes, even threatening more established theater companies in the city of Guadalajara. And to have an appreciation for the breadth of work that they have done, all one has to do is take a look at their Facebook page. For example, there is no theater going on in town. However, they are undeterred, and right now they are rehearsing and promoting their next production, for which they don't even have a confirmed venue in which they can appear. They spend a lot of time producing their theater, their posters and their promotional campaigns. Here are some photos of how they took one of their plays to the city of Guadalajara in 2017. They've been doing live broadcasts on Facebook in which they've entertained people in English and Spanish and all kinds of things. Here is another poster of their upcoming production, a promotion of their Facebook Live, another poster of their upcoming production. Can you recognize this person? You'd be amazed if I told you who that was. This would be Cesar Bravo, who we know as Blancanieves, Snow White, in the local production of Princesas Desesperadas, a production of Perro Bravo, another very important local theater company. Here is Grupo de Teatro Dionisio on their 5th anniversary, and so forth and so on. What I'm trying to say is that Grupo de Teatro Dionisio has been as challenged as anybody else through the pandemic, and yet they've found a way to start to remain busy, to remain creative, to remain inspired. One of their latest projects is a series of public service video announcements that they have produced. Um, uh, to be able to promote a local university, the Los Arcos University, and in which they inspire students to show up to classes on time in a funny way. They even got the university director involved in these skits, which were very, very, very funny. So I just want to say that because it is easy for us to think, oh my God, the pandemic has ruined all our plans, particularly for performance organizations. And I am so proud of my friends at Grupo de Teatro Dionisio because they are not only staying current with their productions, they are looking at alternative ways in which they can learn new skills that they can put to good use. So mis felicitaciones, my congratulations to Grupo de Teatro Dionisio, and I hope if you're not doing anything important tonight, just tune in. Tune in to their live show. You may not understand what they're doing, but show some support for the performing arts here in Puerto Vallarta if you can. They are really an example for other theater companies to be able to follow. Bam, ba-dum, bam, bam. Now that I've gotten that love letter out of the way, I want to talk about Lady Tres Pesos. We met Lady Tres Pesos yesterday, and we found out that she was trying to get into a Walmart with her child, and Walmart told her that she couldn't. So she got all angry, and she demanded the store to refund her 3 pesos for her parking fee. And she was captured on video. And of course, as it happens with all these lords and ladies in Mexico, she has been identified. Lady Tres Pesos turned out to be a real estate agent for Century 21. And Century 21 pretty much said, we are not having this. And they have emitted a press release and said that they did not approve of her behavior, and she is now fired. She has no longer a job at Century 21. So karma is a bitch when we do things like that, which leads me to this mindset that we try to promote here at Coffee and Headlines. We try to stay calm. We acknowledge everybody's frustration, including our own. You know, I get as frustrated as anybody. And sometimes when I'm out and about, I get very frustrated with certain behaviors. But, you know, all one can really do is take a breath and just try to come back to a place of awareness of the fact that what we may think is only happening to us is happening to a lot of people around us. So, as always, we try to stay calm and we try to be kind, and we try to move on through this new normality that we're exploring together. Before we take off, let me take a quick look at your final comments. David Bampel thinks I need a shirt that says boom, 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 boom. I get spooked when I'm walking down the street and people sing that at me. David, so I'm not sure that a t-shirt would be a fun thing to do. Logan thinks we should start a Coffee and Headlines online store. Maybe, but not yet. Some people acknowledging Babel Bar. And yes, it is very sad. And again, I hope that other options will come forth for local artists to be able to continue to do what they do. Is there really someone who would complain about a Mexican theater operating in Spanish or complain about me discussing it? I don't think so, Jamie, but I always want to make sure that I create a gentle connection to things that you may not be able to fully understand, but that are important. Juan Pablo Hernandez, one of the founding members of the company and a dear, dear friend of mine and someone that I admire very much, is here watching. Juan Pablo, congratulations. And as they say, break a leg. In Spanish, by the way, break a leg, the equivalent of break a leg is mucha mierda, which means loads of shit. So when you wish somebody in theater in Mexico loads of shit, it's actually a good wish, just so you know. Uh, uh, oh, I'm having a great day, Justin. Thank you very much for thinking about me. Um, this has become so essential to me too, and it's something that I very much enjoy doing. Sharing time with everybody and connecting us to our community is something that that is important to me. Um, Tony feels sadly for Lady Tres Pesos. Well, yeah, but I mean, she was very unkind to people at that store, and they didn't deserve that. So, what can I tell you? And that's basically all I have for today. It's been a good half hour. I'm already preparing things for tomorrow. Sunday Fun Day is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to pick at everybody, including the First Lady of the United States. She made a horrible mistake the other day, and one that you wouldn't notice unless you were a geek like myself and you were paying attention. So we're going to um, uh, we're going to bring her up in the show. We're also going to have a very special guest that doesn't even know that she is going to be my very special guest. How is that possible? Well, it is possible on Sunday Fun Day. Dustin asks, why did Walmart not let her in? Walmart has very specific guidelines that say that if you're going to go shopping, you go shopping by yourself. You don't bring your family. You don't bring your entire fan club. So whenever you go shopping at a supermarket, you're expected to go by yourself down here in Puerto Vallarta, not to bring the whole family. Jamie, don't spoil me. Don't spoil me, Jamie. Jamie is spoiling my tomorrow. I'm not even going to bring it up on stage. I didn't say anything. Never mind. Okay, so this is it. We made it through another broadcast. We've been broadcasting since March 31st. I think that March, April, May, June, July, August, September. We're going to have 6 months of coffee and headlines in the month of September. How crazy wonderful is that? It's crazy wonderful for me. I hope it's been crazy wonderful for you, and will continue to be crazy wonderful for a long time. Between now and then, stay healthy, stay calm, stay happy, stay patient, stay kind, stay in touch. Luna was here for a little while. She's already at the typewriter putting together her show notes for you to enjoy later on today. I am going to go deliver money for hay at the Rio Quale in a little bit. So I hope you'll have a great Saturday, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow for Sunday Fun Day, where nothing is sacred, no one is safe, and we are going to behave as always in the most juvenile way possible. Between now and then, have an awesome day.